Foxy listeners, I am so excited about today's episode because we are going to be talking about how I found a way to cut my deliverables to my clients almost in half by using Julia's products. So you're going to want to stay tuned to find out how you too can save a bunch of time and make more money. I'm Tanya Fox, and you're listening to Fox Talks Business Podcast. I started my career in the corporate world, but always played to my own tune and loved to think outside of the box. This didn't always serve me well with the bosses, so I made the decision to become an entrepreneur. And that little seed of entrepreneurial curiosity continued to grow as I branched out into retail, service, and franchise businesses. Now, I have been fortunate to have amazing successes in the last 2 decades, but they did not come without some really big failures and even bigger lessons learned. And that's why I started this podcast, not just to share the failures, but to show you how you can turn every failure into a success. We're going to hear from some amazing humans from around the world that are going to share their stories of the good, the bad, and the motivational entrepreneurial life has to offer. After all, life is too short to make all of the mistakes yourself, so why not learn from each other? And of course, we're going to have some fun, because as I always say, well, you know what? I'll tell you that at the end of the episode. So thank you so much for coming on the show today, Julia. I'm super excited to have you today.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here.
So we'll get into this a little bit more after, but I'm absolutely obsessed with your work. I'm a huge fan of it. But before we get into exactly what you do, give us a little bit of a background on how you got started and a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I guess as far as like my background, I'm originally from Germany. So I came to the US in, oh gosh, forever ago, 2008. And I just came here to be an au pair for a little bit. So au pair is like you live with a host family, and you watch their kids and kind of immerse yourself in the American culture. But then I kind of ended up staying. And after I finished with the au pair thing, I went to college, got my like super traditional my business degree, my marketing degree actually, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'm all set. I'm gonna get a nice corporate job, be all safe and happy, and just that's just gonna be my life. Because I guess I come from a really traditional background. Like all my parents have like 9-to-5 jobs. They've had the same job for like 20 years. And my mom would always just be like, oh, make sure you pick a major that's super easy to find a job in and that you can just feel safe and get promoted and then stay there and not have to worry. So I kind of grew up in that mindset of like, always pick the safe route and make sure you get a job and you're safe and you're taken care of. And yeah, so that kind of like how I imagined my life to be. But then I guess you can relate, but like you find a job after college and you just like, oh my gosh, this is not for me. Like, I don't like this. So I had like a few different jobs, and then I just didn't really click with any of the corporate marketing jobs. So I would just be like, oh, maybe I just need a different job. So I would go to a nonprofit and I was like, oh, maybe I'll feel more fulfilled. And I didn't really like it. So then I went to a large like tech company and I didn't like it. So I just kind of was like, oh my gosh, I just can't keep switching jobs and kind of wait until I find something I like, because I don't think this is for me. So maybe I should explore different like opportunities and areas. So that's when I kind of found the online business world. And I decided, okay, this is really fun and I feel really passionate about this. And I never felt this passion in any of my jobs. So clearly I'm onto something and I really like this. So I started with just kind of offering freelancing services. So I had a bunch of like coaches and I think life coaches and relationship coaches was like my main clientele. And I just kind of offered everything. Like I did like blog posts and YouTube, social media, graphics, podcast management, like everything you can imagine. I was just like, sure, I can do it.
Yeah.
Once I like had enough clients, I was like, oh my gosh, I could quit my job now, because I was kind of building it on the side as a side hustle. But then I was like terrified and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't how can I let go of my secure corporate job and just do this? Like, like who am I to start my own business and quit my corporate job? And then, but I decided this is what I wanted. So I quit my job, and that was actually in February of 2020. So like a week before COVID hit.
Oh
So then I
gosh.
was like, it's like, oh my gosh, I guess this is a sign. This is showing me that nothing's ever secure. Like anything, like no job is like, oh, it's going to offer you 100% security. It's going to be stable no matter how big the company, no matter how much growth there is. You just can't, nothing is forever. So I was like, okay, this is good. This is a sign. I probably would have been letting go anyways. So I'm just going to focus on my business and grow that. And yeah, I kept pursuing the client work and stuff, but I kind of started niching down on what I actually enjoyed. So I figured out that I really, really enjoyed focusing on the graphic design and the creating like templates for them, helping them to create materials for their courses or for their lead magnets and like little ebooks and stuff. So I spent like a lot of time in Canva, which is like a free design program. And I realized, wow, this is actually really fun. Why don't I focus on exclusively offering that? And then I got into learning more about digital products. So I was like, oh, hey, I could add like an additional income stream and just also offer my templates and my little digital products that I'm creating and sell those while I'm also doing client work. So I set up my website store. I got an Etsy store, a creative market store, like the whole setup. And yeah, I loved it so much. I was like, for the first time in my life, I was like, wow, I'm actually feeling so much purpose and so much meaning and so much fulfillment. So it just really took off, and I ended up selling so many templates that I decided to just quit my client work altogether and just focus on the designing and the digital products and the templates. And yeah, and then I focused on that, and it just really grew. And I started by just offering kind of little template sets, and then I expanded to offering bundles. And right now I'm at a point where I have like a full-blown membership. So it's like every template I ever created is like in that membership. And then every month there's new templates and new resources and printables and trainings and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah.
I am a VIP member, and I have to say, I love it. I actually had found you first on, I think it was Creative Market. And I was like at the point where I think in my business that I needed something, but I wanted it all to look the same. And creating was taking forever. And I was like, I just wish there was like plug and play. I just want like somebody else to do the outline. And if I can just like delete stuff, that would be like perfect. And so it was actually a friend of mine who said, well, I use this. This is where I get all of my stuff from. And then I just customize it. So I remember searching, and I couldn't even tell you now. I've looked through way too many of your templates to remember what the first one was. But I remember seeing it and kind of going, all right. And I saw who, it said Julia on purpose. And I was like, all right, Julia,
right.
You're going to make my life easier. And then I realized like I bought one template and then I bought the other template. And then I was like, okay, I'm like starting to get obsessed with these. And then I saw the VIP where I was like, oh, I can just get them all. And I was like, well, how many could there be? Like really? And then I think I probably lost about, have to say, Foxy listeners, I lost about 3 days of work because I was just like, oh, look at this template. We could design this and, we could use this. And, oh, remember that idea we had like 4 months ago? This would totally streamline it. And so from, sort of a customer standpoint, I found that it sort of revved up my creativity, because as I was looking at all of these other templates that had nothing to do with the work I did, I think one was like a fitness template or something. And I was like, but, if we moved this and we just changed this would totally work, for this idea. And so that was besides myself personally, just being obsessed with your products, I wanted to have you on because I think it's important to talk about, and I'd love to get into a little bit from your perspective about design templates and how, I know I kind of already blabbed for me how they're effective tools. But this is something that your whole career is based on. So let's talk a little bit about, for not just for me, because it's not supposed to be just about me, but let's talk a little bit about the design templates and how businesses can use them as effective tools.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for saying all these nice things about my templates. I'm so happy they like helped you and sparked new ideas and everything. So that's really good. That's my goal. So I'm really glad that's what you're using them for. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of what you said, like it's definitely helps you with consistency and just like to get new ideas and to help you streamline a lot of your processes. Like I have a lot of people struggle with like onboarding, like people who do client work, like coaches and stuff. They just don't really feel confident onboarding their clients, or they have this hurdle of like starting their business because they don't feel like they can offer something professional or something that they can use to really wow their clients, and so that their clients are thinking, wow, she really knows what she's doing, and I feel really confident in working with her. So like by offering these kind of templates, they already have like pre-written content, so you really just need to adjust a few things and tweak your colors a little bit, and it just kind of has everything already there for you. So all you need to do is just drag and drop some pictures in there, change the colors, add your business name, and it's like ready. All you have to do is save it, send it off, and you're good to go. And it's just like Canva, the program I'm using to create these templates, has just been so revolutionary for so many people because it's so easy to use, and there's a learning curve, but it's like not nearly as steep as like Photoshop or all those design programs that are out there. So many people can now like DIY their brands, their materials, and just really get going without much of a hurdle to get into their business. So yeah, I just really wanted to build on that and help people to not only use their program, but also have like done for you templates that they can just take and plug and play with. And yeah, that's what I love about Canva and about templates, to just really help businesses get started, to help people feel confident when they create, and to give them professional looking designs that they can easily implement.
I love too that like you provide a lot of like tutorial videos too on like, here's how to change your colors, or, here's how to deviate, because like you said, Canva isn't a huge, learning curve. Especially, if you're just doing that, if you're just sort of changing the text and,
Right.
and adding in photos, and it's free. You can
Yeah.
obviously, like everything else, you can get a bigger version, but you can do quite a lot. And I'm really impressed that you can do quite a lot on, the free program.
Yeah.
So it's easy for those businesses, like you said, that are starting out, because your templates too. Let's talk a little bit about like your price range, because I really want this to be open. And I know a lot of people might be out there and going, this is crazy. I don't have a lot of money. I'm just starting out. Your VIP program, by the way, is like way too cheap for what you get. I'm sorry, everybody. So go rush out right now and sign up for it. But I was like, this is insanely cheap. But let's just kind of talk about and like, sort of release the stigma on that. So let's just say like an average template of like what you were talking about, say maybe even like the coaching template. Can you give us a rough idea of like price wise what people would be looking at? Because I know there's probably some people going, yeah, but how much is this really?
Yeah. So for example, like the coaching client welcome packet is like $21 right now. And I'm really trying to like provide complete bundles. So it's not just like, here's a template, good luck. It's like a template that comes with a tutorial, like a quick start guide. It comes with resources that you can use for your coaching business. It comes with a walkthrough that says, okay, page one, here's the purpose of page one. Here's what you should change. Here's what how you fill it out. Here are the prompts you need to fill in the content. Like it's just like this complete bundle with everything you need to make it yours and to make it really valuable for your customers. But yeah, sorry, I'm rambling. It's $21. And it comes with all the extra resources I just mentioned. And then there's also a bundle where you get like the coaching client welcome packet, and a service and pricing guide where you can share like some more details about your coaching program. And it also comes with an offboarding packet. So if you're done with your coaching program, you can send them a nice little goodbye packet with with like a recap of your sessions and some resources and some client gifts and stuff you want to share with them. And that bundle is currently $55, I think. Oh, and it also comes with coaching worksheets. I forgot. But like, yeah, I have like individual templates, bundles, which are, you still save money because you bundle a bunch of products together. And then, as you mentioned, I have that all access pass template hub. And that one is, right now it's $167, but it comes with, I think it's almost 1,000 templates now that are in there. And then there's videos, like tutorials. I'm working on adding some trainings right now. Like I want to add like a Pinterest training, like how to use Pinterest to drive traffic to your website. I want to add like a branding training, like how to stay consistent with your branding and like develop a brand and stuff. So yeah, I'm just constantly thinking of ways to add value to that. And then you can also submit like requests if you want a certain template for your business that you really need and you can't find anywhere, and you really need it, and you can submit a request and I will create that template for you, for my members. So yeah, that's the rundown on the pricing and the features and stuff.
Which I think is like, I do love that feature, because oftentimes you find a template or you think of something, and that's like I had said, that's kind of one of the things that has stopped me, is that as I was, doing something, I was like, on a scrap blank piece of paper, I'd be like, I need a circle here and I need this here. And then it just sits in my notebook because I'm like, that would be really pretty.
Right.
Like, and there it sits because, I just don't have the time to do it or whatever. So I know when I saw that, as a business owner, I was super excited because I was like, I don't even care what she does with it. Like, sell it to everybody. I don't care. It would just be so nice to be able to say, hey, could you, this is the idea I have in my head, but
right.
There's so much in your template package. Like you said, I'm sure there's more than 1,000 that are in there. I've just been searching through, but what I like is the way they're laid out. You can use them for so many different things. So I find myself digging into, through the templates and going, oh, I just want this one sheet. I could redesign this sheet to be, what I want to be able to send it to clients. And I found it, that they're very well thought out, which now obviously learning more about your background, in marketing and in business, it makes sense. But I find too that one of the areas that the templates helps a business owner out is to think of some things that you wouldn't. With the offboarding, I mean, I used to always, send an email to say, hey, thanks. It was so great working for you. If it was like a small project and, here's, sort of a recap, but it was all in an email. So when I saw that particular template, I thought, oh, this is even better. Like, and there was some prompts in there of things that I was like, I didn't even think of, listing out the accomplishments or anything like that. So I think that, for and this is why I kind of wanted to have you on, because I think for business owners, especially if they're a solopreneur, creating all of that stuff is overwhelming. And like you had said before, you want to come across as really professional. You want to, sort of have these, good looking products that you're sending out, but to sit there and create them from scratch is very daunting when you're staring at a blank page, even on Canva. I've done it many times of going, yeah, this is not going to happen. Like, I don't even know where to start. So, for you, creating all of these templates, where do most of your ideas come from? Is it just from past experiences that you've had or things that you used?
Yeah. Well, Canva gives you like a lot of ideas just by showing you like when you open Canva, it's like, oh, hey, do you want to create a website? And I was like, oh, okay, sure. Like they constantly release like new features, so you can really create anything. Like there are no limits. So I created like a sales page, like a website in Canva for like an online course. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know you could do that. Or like an Instagram landing page website, like just, yeah, just like constantly having these new features released really helps me like generate ideas. Then people reach out to me all the time saying like, oh, you know what would be cool if you could create a gift guide, or like, you know, that when people can submit template requests to me on the membership. So I was like, oh yeah, wow, like a podcast promo bundle or stuff like this. So I'm like, my customers give me great ideas, Canva gives me great ideas, and then just my, like you said, my background with working with coaches, just like being exposed to, oh, that's what they're using, that's how they're doing, that's how their clients are responding to different things they're doing. Just that really helped me to kind of get a great insight into that world. And yeah, just kind of researching trends and trying to be like an early adopter and really getting into um, like creating things that people don't even know they need, but then once they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I need that, like you said. So yeah, and then I kind of like, once I have an idea, it's like I just like write it down, and I have like all these ideas and all these content things that come to my head, and like, oh my gosh, this is how I could make it even better. Oh, and I could add this. Oh, and then if I add this, then like it's just like, yeah, my head works in mysterious ways.
But I mean, I think that's great for, you know, us being on the receiving end of, you know, of getting this. And I think in today's day and age, as we're heading more to, you know, an online world, especially with, you know, what's been going on, that this is a way for people to really kind of streamline what they're doing, and how they're doing things. Because you know, like you said, there's often times where I see a template that's like recipes. There was one for recipes, and I used it for something, and it wasn't a recipe, but I was like, oh, I just like the layout of this. So I find it's, you know, it is also an opportunity for people to, you know, be inspired and sort of spur them to, you know, think of different things that maybe they wouldn't have originally thought just staring at a blank piece of paper.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just like all the, like I always try to, whenever I send out my updates, like, hey, here's your new templates for the month. I'm like, oh, and here are some project ideas that you can use these for. Like the recipe book, I was like, oh, if you're a fitness coach, you could create a lead magnet for this, or you could use it to create a custom meal plan for your clients. Like there's just so many, it's so versatile. Like you said, you can really do so many things with it. So yeah, I love that about Canva, that you can just really make it your own and go crazy with that template and that basic outline that you have.
So let's flip back a little bit to business, because like you said, you sort of came from a background similar to what I did. I mean, I had one parent in the government, one parent in the military. That's kind of what you did. So as you were kind of starting this journey of, you know, leaving the corporate world, you know, venturing out on your own, can you talk a little bit about some of the obstacles that you faced that you were kind of surprised of going, oh, I didn't actually realize this was going to be this way?
Yeah, I mean, so many things. First of all, like I was like terrified, like I said, like with the security and stuff. Like I was like, I can't, I like, who am I? Like anxiety and like self-doubt, like I can't do this. I've never like worked on by myself. Like I can't be my own boss. It's only like super brave people do that. Like I can't do this. Or just like having fear about money, like and that security, like, oh, what if I don't make enough money to support myself? What if I don't have enough savings to pay my bills? Like it's very scary, especially if you didn't if you never had to like deal with that or never really thought of that. For me, it was always like, oh, I'm gonna have a job, and on the 1st and the 15th is when I get paid, and that's it. Like, and I just do what they tell me to do. But yeah, just having to adapt this whole new mindset of like, oh my gosh, I need to like, this is me, like however much work I put in, that's what I'm gonna get back. It doesn't, if I take sick days, then that's like, I'm not gonna get paid for my sick days and stuff like it used to be. And just
So with that, what was, you know, what was the thing that made you actually jump? Because of course you're thinking all of these things. Was there any moment that you can think of that you were like, well, oh well?
I was just like I was like, I can't work 80 hours a week anymore, because I would work like 40 hours a week at my corporate job, then go home, and every night till like midnight, I would work like for my clients and like marketing my business. And because I was like, oh, I'm just going to build my side hustle. And then when it's ready, I'll take the plunge and jump. But it was ready and I still didn't jump because I was too scared. So yeah, I just knew I hated my job. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm so unhappy. I'm so unfulfilled. I can't go to Germany and see my parents because I have like 5 days of vacation a year. Like I don't have flexibility. I can't be creative. I have to stick to all these guidelines. If I'm like, oh, I have a great idea, how about we do it like this? They're like, no, that's not what the guidelines say. Sorry, we have to do it like this.
That's not what we do here.
Yeah. And my creativity was just like so stifled and so like not there. Like I couldn't ever be creative, and all I ever wanted to be was creative and like create and design and have new ideas, and I just couldn't do that there. So I was like, this, I can't go on like this. This is it. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, me too, for sure. It's like the best thing I ever did. Like I know so many of my friends are like, oh yeah, I wish I could do that, but I'm too scared, or I know I could never be successful. Like, I don't know, people just tell themselves why they can't do it. And it's sad because I know not everyone, but I feel like a lot of people would probably benefit from having their own business and just being able to live out their true purpose and passions and just feel more aligned with who they are and what they really want to do, if they wouldn't be so caught up in that lie of like, oh, I need to stay here because it's secure and that's what you do. You don't just quit your job and start your own business. That's not what you do. You know, it's sad that it's just like a common mindset, I guess.
Well, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think that's, an important thing for people to hear, because I, heard that too, years back from my friends of saying, well, I just wish I could be brave like you. And I was like, but you're never brave until you've done it.
Right.
Like,
I wasn't brave.
I was a coward right up until I accomplished it. So, you just have to do it and then you become brave. Like it's not something that happens beforehand. It only happens after, I find that bravery sometimes is hindsight. You go, I was really brave to do that. But in the moment you're like you said, you're like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? Why do I think this is a good idea? And then afterwards you look back and you go, that was a good idea.
It's a great idea. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I love like the fact that I can provide templates at a relatively like low budget price for people, so they can be like, oh, I could start my own business, but I can't because I can't design a website, or I can't create social media graphics. It's not going to look good. So I'm not even going to try. But it's like, oh, wow, if I invest a little bit of money, I could have this whole resource library full of things to start and build my business and create a course and sell ebooks, make a workbook, like anything you want, you can just create and get started and just take the plunge and go for it.
So if people are out there and they're like, okay, I want to see these templates, let's give some plugs of where the best place is for them to get more information on it. And I just say, don't bother buying one, just jump into the VIP because there's so much in there. Like, and I look for every time an email comes in, it was like, you have a new template. I'm like, oh, this is exciting. Clear my calendar.
Yeah, so I guess the best place would be my website. It's www.juliaonpurpose.com. You're gonna be like, it's all full of like, oh, here are my individual templates, here are my bundles, here's the all access pass, and yeah, it's just filled with fun little goodies and templates and more information about me. And yeah, you can just go there and design your heart out.
Well, thank you so much for, coming on and, sharing your story and a little bit more about it. And, I do really want to encourage our listeners to head out and, just check this out, because I can't even, I really, in my head, I was like, I should add up how many hours. But it really has saved me. I know I'm like, I lost 3 days of business work, but the amount of stuff that I got done and the amount of stuff that I think that templating allowed me to automate is
Mhm.
what really has saved me, because I'm not creating things from scratch. I can look and somebody can say, do you have this? Like, I'm looking for something, nice to write my top 3 list. Cause I'm a big person for, here's the top 3 things that you're going to accomplish today. And so I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then first place I went to my VIP access and I looked and I'm like, oh, there's one in here. That's awesome. So, I think the great thing for me as a business owner is I was able to provide these things so much faster to my clients
Mhm.
that there's a part of me that sort of, feels a little bit guilty, because they're like, it's so amazing. You create these beautiful things so fast. And I'm like, I just changed colors, in the template, but it's,
Oh my God.
that's all part of business. So I think this is, what you've created and what you continue to create is such an essential tool. Whether you're, just one person in a business or whether you have a team, I think this is something that is a must have on your business list.
Yeah, thank you so much. It seriously makes me so happy that you like love it so much and that you've been able to benefit from it so much. And yeah, what you said about the team, I think it's like Canva is such an amazing tool to like collaborate and to share links and to like I use it with my virtual assistant and I just like send her a link and then she can edit the design like on her own account. And it's just so cool. There's like a million features. There's no limits what you can do.
Well, we'll make sure that we have all of the links to where people can find you and sign up. And I would say that I would list some of my favorite templates, but there's just too many. Just all of them.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
I know I gushed a lot in this episode, but I really can't tell you how much I love Julia's products. Not only have they saved me a lot of time, but they've really helped me to become more creative. So, like I had said, there was a lot of the templates that I would look at that would make me go, oh my gosh, why aren't we offering this? Or this is a fantastic idea. If I just change a few things and adopt it, I can actually use this to make sense for my line of work. So, it not only helps you to use less time on creating stuff so that you make more money, but it also helps you to become more creative. And that's one of the things I really love about it. I also love her designs. They're really well thought out. So I encourage you to head to our website at foxtalksbusiness.ca, click on blogs on the left-hand side of the page. You're going to see this episode. And I will have the link for Julia's website as well as her resource hub that you can join. So this will give you access to branding resources, templates, digital product planners, and a ton of more stuff. So you're going to want to make sure you do that. And I encourage you as well, take a look through the templates. And if there is at least 2 or 3 that you get really excited about, then just go ahead and buy the VIP pass, because there are so many templates that are in there that I found really, really useful. And I know that I was very grateful that I didn't just buy them piece by piece, because I saved so much money just going, I'm going to buy the VIP pass. And I know for myself, it's one thing that I have now budgeted in for my yearly expenses, because it's not something that I'm going to be willing to give up. Because like I said, it saved me so much time. And I've gotten a lot of compliments from my clients when I started using these new templates. So yay, Julia, on that. So no matter what you're doing today, whether you are getting super excited like I am over templates, or whether you're just having a normal day, find a way to have fun. Because as I always say, if you're not having fun, why are you doing it?